Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Our topic today is interesting, provocative, terrifying. It's a whole lot of things wrapped up in one, and it is the abuse of men. Um, there's been a shift, or at least there seems to have been a shift in our culture. Women have come from a place of being dominated, of being abused, of being subjugated, of being marginalized, to a place where women are doing everything. We are excelling in sports. We are running countries. We are running businesses. We're heads of household. And so, in the shift from one place to another, there seem to have been some women who have gained their power, gained their voice, and unfortunately used that power to abuse men. And the abuse can take on many forms: physical, mental, emotional, financial, social, you name it. I mean, the list goes on and on. And so, what we want to do today is dive into the story of an abused husband and really spill the tea today and talk about some of the things that occurred in his relationship. So, we're going to get it all set up for you today. And hopefully, over the next couple of episodes, dive deeper and deeper and deeper into the story. So, the book that we're going to be reading from today is The Griefcase. And let's just read this little blurb here at the top. It says, "The true story of a brilliant artist whose health, wealth, and only child were taken from him by a troubled ex and a corrupt legal system." This book does a really fantastic job of showing us how one woman, armed with a legal system that is biased, that is corrupt, that is broken, how that one woman can effect so much harm and damage on a man's life. And I don't want to get ahead of myself because there is so much to unpack here. So let's just get started. But I do want to say that The Griefcase is a book written by Lefty Burnham. And Lefty, as he is called, is using a pseudonym here. And the reason is because he is still embroiled in very extensive, painful, expensive litigation. And so he's unable to use his real name at this time, but we are all hopeful that Dan will soon be able to share his story with the world face to face when justice has been served and he has been vindicated. And if that day should come, which we know it will, I'm going to bring it to you right here. So the book is The Griefcase. It is an Amazon new release bestseller, selling over 1,000 copies within its first day. So fantastic book. So here's how the book starts. And by the way, this was written by a very good friend of Lefty's and someone who was extremely instrumental in getting this story out to the world. At the age of 57 today, California sculptor Dan Lefty Burnham has been living the existence of a reclusive artist, working 6 to 8 hours per day alone in his home or by his pool in Malibu Beach as he attempts to regain the use of his left side of his body due to a devastating stroke which left him paralyzed more than a decade ago. The tragedy and full scope of the story can never be told. Mere words cannot capture what he has been through. Him and millions of other men who are falsely accused by their lovers, girlfriends, or wives. But Lefty's story serves as the template of a life virtually destroyed after a marriage to an emotionally abusive woman who suffers from borderline personality disorder. A year after his stroke, she falsely accused Lefty of sexually molesting his only child, a beautiful 3-year-old daughter and the love of his life. His wife then took his daughter from him and disappeared with her lover. Together, she and her lover have waged a fierce and intense smear campaign of lies and deception in a battle which has led him through jail cells, courtrooms, parole officers, and a corrupt legal system which favors the lies and deception of a troubled woman over the innocent pleas of a battered husband. He has not seen his beautiful daughter since then. The battle to prove one's innocence has bankrupted many men with little to show for the money, time, and effort they expend. They are often left with little to no rights to the child they love and a costly uphill criminal case to defend. I am honored that Lefty allowed me to participate in this journey with him. I respect and honor the man, and I am inspired by his strength through suffering. Shortly after his stroke, Lefty's former wife divorced the man she once called the love of her life, a classic kick a man when he's down scenario. While he was attempting to recover from the stroke, still in physical therapy and in hospital research rehabilitation, she was filing lawsuits against him. Her demands via court proceedings were absurd at best, especially the one where she requested that the courts restrict his access to his child. Lefty is a good and noble man, and I hope that by sharing his story, others are empowered to fight and the courts rebalance their unequal scales of justice against good fathers like Lefty. So I want to know, just hearing that brief introduction, that brief prologue, can you relate to this story? Are you a man who has been disenfranchised by the court system or who has had an ex flip the script and completely become crazy, become threatening, become abusive? These are the stories we have to tell. We've got to uncover this phenomenon if we're going to put a stop to it. And so we're calling on all of you guys out there who have been victims of abuse at the hands of your girlfriend or your spouse or your lover. Please share those stories with us. Drop a link in the comments below, or drop a comment below. And also, if you want to reach us to appear on the show or to share even more of your story, you can reach me at www.mogulmama.com, and you'll see it there on the screen. I want to encourage you to pick up this book, The Griefcase. It is a fabulous read. It is a powerful story, and I believe it is going to change the legal landscape. So we are looking forward to hearing from all of you really, really soon. Thank you so much for joining us. And on the very next episode, we're going to go even deeper into this issue and share a lot more of what happened to Lefty.